got all things that are good.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to BrainStorming Episode Infinity.
I'm Brian McFadden.
And I'm Nick Tesla.
There's battle on for your brain.
So let your brain evolve. So we're gonna have a good show here today, Brian. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. It's gonna be a wham-bam-tastic fan, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious type of show, if you ask me. So I don't know. We gotta start getting into things. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get into things right away. You know what I'm saying? The storm is a brewing. You know what I'm saying? And especially if the end of September shit's about to hit the fan, which it looks like it might. We'll get into a little later on. But the end of September, shit might actually hit the fan for all those people out there like, oh shit, it's the fan. Oh yeah, ha ha ha. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those preppers might be. They might be the start of the new civilization coming up soon. Like me and you might not even be a part of that because we're not so prepared, to be honest. And like I've been very interested in being prepared in the past and decided not to spend my money on getting prepared because after 2012 I was like, oh, 2012 syndrome, everything's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But hey, anything can happen. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. First thing I wanted to touch on is iTunes. We're going to be on iTunes. You can catch us on iTunes. You might actually be listening to us on iTunes, the first episode on iTunes. And if you are, thank you for joining us. And this is a show where we like to get into a lot of different topics about how the world's going to hell in a handbasket, you know? Yeah.
Sums it up right there.
And in all reality, like I'm the type of person, myself, I'm the type of person who likes to think we live in heaven on earth. Or, you know, there's a lot of positives to think of. I like to focus on the positives. But in all reality, there's a lot of negatives where it looks like the world is not in good shape and we're tearing it to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and this show is devoted to focusing on a lot of those negatives.
Yeah, we got explicit language, so I wouldn't listen to this show around your littlest kids, around your 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. They might enjoy the language. It's not really the worst language. I'm not saying the C word on this show. I'm not saying the C word, right? I'm really the offensive cursor. You curse a little bit, the cusser. You cuss a little bit, but I cuss a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I'm very PG about it, but other times I'm rated X, son. Rated R.
Oh, I saw the first name there.
Oh, man. Okay, yeah.
And out of the corner of my eye, I thought it said David Icke. I was going to be like, why are you friends with David Icke on Facebook?
I'm friends with Charlotte Green on Facebook. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, shout out to Charlotte Green. Come on our show. It would be awesome to have you on the show. It's like, honestly, I'm sitting here in my, what I guess, to be honest with people, like, we're going to get a studio in a couple months. But sitting here in my dining room, it's like, Charlotte Green, come here. Here's what I'm envisioning, right? All of a sudden, we have Charlotte Green either come on BrainStorming or 3NN. And all of a sudden, Charlotte Green sitting here hanging out, you know what I'm saying? We're sitting here smoking a little bit of pot or whatever. And my girlfriend comes home from work. And Charlotte Green's sitting here. And Charlotte Green is like a very attractive woman. Very attractive African-American woman, you know? And if she was sitting here at the table with us, hanging out, and my girlfriend came home, hey, I love my girlfriend to death, but I don't know how comfortable she would be with Charlotte Green here. But you know what? Hey, Charlotte Green, you're welcome to come on the show anytime. I'm not saying there's going to be any kind of uncomfortable feelings or any kind of uncomfortable shit. We'll try and get you on BrainStorming so we can get you out of here before 3NN or something, before my girl gets like, I don't know. Doesn't that sound so bad? Anyway, let's stop getting into my shit and let's get into our first thing. So I guess I'd just like to welcome anybody who's just joining us for the first time on iTunes or any other media forum.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We like to talk about politics. We like to talk about exopolitics. I guess that means world politics. I don't know what that means. But we like to talk about a lot of different shit about how the world's going to hell in a handbasket. And if we don't do something about it, what we're handing to our children.
3 minutes We're
3 minutes for 3 minutes to doom. 3 minutes to doom is really 3 minutes to doom. That show is really about how the world's going to hell in a handbasket.
That's
now brainstorm. Yeah.
That's only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right now we have an entire show to brainstorm on.
Yeah, but we got to get to it. So I don't know.
That's what you're listening to.
Politics, how the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and we're handing younger generations to the next generations. We're handing them a pretty fucked up planet, and we thought we got handed a fucked up planet. Now we're really fucking it up for younger generations. So this is where we kind of focus on that and different kind of topics that kind of relate to that, and we brainstorm on those topics for a little bit. And today is actually going to be our first condensed show where we're going to try and keep it down to around 30 or 40 minutes. So without further ado, our first topic I want to delve right into is this computer independently solves a 120-year-old biological mystery. It basically solved a scientific equation that humans have not been able to solve for 120 years. So my thought on that was, right, computer intelligence is much further along than we may have thought, right? Obviously, it's much further along than we may have thought. If it's able to solve a 120-year-old riddle that mankind has not been able to solve, a computer has finally been able to solve that. I think computers might be starting to get further along than mankind's total intelligence or whatever, or if there's a bar of intelligence over time as humanity evolves. Well, same with computers. As computers have evolved, the bar of intelligence, their bar of intelligence is coming right up to ours, if not surpassing ours. So, right, with the advancements in robotics, are we 10 years or sooner away from intelligent robots among us? Robots that are walking, talking among us, but also just as intelligent as us, or if not much more intelligent than us.
All the way, like Data Next Generation?
No, I'm talking more like iRobot style, where they still kind of look like robots. Maybe like Data in the face.
C-3PO from Star Wars?
No. iRobot. Have you seen iRobot with Will Smith?
Honestly, I made it a point not to. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, I did eventually.
Yeah, those robots, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Data, yes, but more like where you can tell it's a robot, you know what I'm saying? Will Smith is like Data, exactly, but Will Smith is not full-on robot, you know what I'm saying? He's part robot, his arm or something is robot. But basically, robots, I don't want to get into the aesthetics of how they look. It's basically about their intelligence. And robots that are walking among us, interacting with us, because think about it, if there's robots that have the equivalent intelligence of us, if not more intelligence than us, right? And they're walking among us, are they not going to take our jobs, and not just the physical labor jobs, which we think of robots taking now, but the jobs where intelligence is required, our acting jobs, where they can suit it with a skin or use CGI to put on top of it, you know what I'm saying? But this acting job, the ability for these robots to act is so much farther along than humans can act, and they're like really able to tug humans' heartstrings. They figured out acting more than we've been able to figure out in the past few thousand years. They're going to start figuring out shit. It's going to go from shit that they figured out that we haven't been able to figure out for 120 years to shit we haven't been able to figure out for 500 years. Holy shit, they figured that out. And then shit we haven't been able to figure out for 1,000 years. Holy shit, they figured that out. And then all of a sudden, the pyramids. They figured out what the pyramids' real purpose and use is. And it's like, holy shit, that was a power plant. That's insane. That guy, he's a power plant guy, was right. But that shit's going to come along. And once it gets to that point, it's like, are we... I guess we talked about this before. Are we really even needed? But these robots, I'm talking about before we get to that actual point where we're kind of obsolete and we're not needed to work, where we need to do something about it, whereas we're not feeling like we have to work, or we're not feeling like we have to earn money. It's like we're going to have to move into some form of a socialist society because of robots. There's not going to be enough shit for people to do. You know, some people are literally going to have to wake up and just take a walk around the block and fucking live just a stupid life of not really doing much, playing video games all day, or, you know what I'm saying, living on a farm, just like taking care of their 10 goats or some shit, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing, you know what I'm saying, doing nothing with their life, like, because robots have, like, filled in all the gaps for most people, you know what I'm saying, and, like, it's going to come to a point where a lot of people can't work, and we got to do something about it, or a lot of people are going to be unemployed. But, right, 5 years before we get to that point, are we going to have robots walking among us, like working in jobs with us, you know what I'm saying, and, like, doing stuff with us, like actual working robots that look like humans somewhat and are just as intelligent, if not vastly more intelligent, or even just a little bit more intelligent than us? Like, is... And that's within the next 10 years. I'm saying that. So 15 years, that means we're obsolete as far as the workforce goes. So I don't know, Brian. What do you think?
Can we really say for certain we don't already have something among us?
No, we can't say for certain, but that's getting off that's really that's
going with the idea that we presented. Where we said,
well, that's going down the 3 and N route, I guess you could say. The 3 and N route, as if that's pretty trippy and out there thinking that we got, like, that's like thinking like we got UFOs, or not UFOs, aliens walking among us, or lizard people walking among us, David Icke over here, Brian Icke.
They are always at least 50 years ahead of what they tell you, or what they let you know.
Yeah, okay.
So, how do we...
Yeah, okay, all right.
We're not a freaking robot.
Paradox. No. Basically, right, Brian? There was a couple years ago when I first woke up, I had this weird feeling, and I didn't know what it was. That there was, and I was in a city that's a major banking city. I was living in Wilmington, right? Wilmington, Delaware. It's a major banking city in Delaware. Delaware itself is a major banking state, but the northern part, and Wilmington in particular, is the hub of banking almost in America. One of the main hubs of banking in America, right? And I was in this area living and discovering shit and making YouTube videos talking about the shit that I was discovering, researching shit, coming across conspiracies, all this kind of crazy shit, and talking about it, right? And for maybe a good month, I remember feeling like I would go to like a 7-Eleven or like a gas station or something to get something to drink and a blunt and cigarettes and this and that, right? And feeling like there was, not feeling like seeing somebody there in like a black suit. You know, it was never a woman. It was always like usually a white dude in a black suit with black sunglasses on and just like in the store shopping, getting something, you know what I'm saying? But it was like for like a month straight. No, but like in my mind, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, these motherfuckers aren't human. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers aren't human at all. That's just like...
Haven't you seen the documentary They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper?
All right, well, we talk about They Live a little bit too much on this show, Brian. How about thinking of in a different route, exactly what we were talking about as far as robots, and not a alien species or some shit like that, and robots that are actually DARPA, or you said 50 years ahead, so couldn't there be robots that are out surveilling certain people that are suspect of being starting a movement or starting some sort of an activist movement or some shit? Or put it this way, I've always thought of this, and this is getting crazy, and we're going to move on from this topic right after I say this, right? We have to.
Shout out Ron Finley, Guerrilla Gardening.
This guy. What if time travel, maybe not time travel, but time scoping, I guess maybe you could say, or time visioning, what is it? What's the word?
I have no idea where you're going.
Predicting. What's the word that Nostradamus was on? Prophet. Yes, prophesizing. Exactly. Something that can prophesize the future or even look into the past. There you go. Do you believe that maybe there is a DARPA program or some sort of program out there that has the ability to do that? Okay, and has looked into the future and has determined me, you, maybe somebody we know, maybe somebody we don't know, but somebody that's local or something like that. No, I'm not talking about models and simulations. Yes, of course they can run models and simulations, and that's you can go with with what I'm saying in the exact same context with that.
I don't think they can.
You don't think. You don't know. Exactly. We don't know. That's what I'm saying is we don't know. We can't know. We're not going to be able to know. And if we know, it's going to be 50 years from now that we end up really finding out. Maybe 30 years from now, 25 years from now. It's going to be a while before we find out that they have the ability to do this. We, the public, have to have some small parcel or grain of that, the ability to do that in some small way, shape, or form before they'll admit that they had the ability to do that way back when. But what if they're able to look into the future, right? And if they're not, it's not probabilities. What if the future is just like a timeline that you're able to look into with current situations, the current events in the world, everything that is going on right now, what the future is right now. And then as things change, you can watch the future change. You know what I'm saying? It's like as things change in this world, you can watch certain aspects about the future world change. If something major happens in this world that wasn't supposed to happen or wasn't going to happen or whatever, you watch the future change.
Dr. Manhattan says, time is all relative.
Yeah.
Future and past happen simultaneously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we talk about
So future's happening right now.
analyze that kind of stuff.
Future's happening right now. Okay.
In theory, I'll say it is possible theoretically that they may have a robot with the ability to understand time.
No. You're on a completely. You're on the wrong track. Than what I'm
You're
saying.
interrupting me, motherfucker.
Go ahead. What?
But I don't think, in my opinion, again, I don't know for certain, but I personally don't think right now in 2015 DARPA has anything that can 100% foresee the future.
Well, I'm not talking about a robot whatsoever. I'm talking about a computer. It wouldn't be a robot. I know we're talking about robots, but what I'm saying is, and this is why it was kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent, not necessarily related. No. I'm talking about a computer, a machine that has the ability to look into the future and has basically determined in the future that somebody we know, me or you, maybe even possibly, ends up being. Think about Terminator. Okay, think about Terminator and how Sarah Connor ends up giving birth to what's his name and John Connor. John Connor leads the revolution, right? Well, they can see that and they go back and they try and kill him. Well, what if they can already see into the future now and they know, well, okay, well, here he is. We have access to him. Let's shut him down. Whether it's through MK Ultra, whether it's through intimidating him, this or that, could be. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't talking about a robot that has the ability to do it. I'm talking about they would have no. What I'm talking about is they would have robots with the ability. These aren't robots from the future. These are robots that are technology that's available to the military now. These robots are basically look like humans, but are basically just surveillance cameras watching these people. These people that are supposed to be or end up being like the future revolutionary, like the future George Washingtons that start the next revolution and are the next presidents and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like the future founding fathers, they're trying to break up that whole thing. So they're literally watching these people and what they're doing and how they can interrupt and how they can fuck up what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to say. Is that the robots might be being used for surveillance type of purposes. But you don't know you're being... Hold on. But you don't know you're being watched by anybody on a camera screen. You know nobody's watching you on a camera screen.
The guy behind the counter at your 7-Eleven.
Exactly. It could be anybody.
You talk to him every day when you go in there.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Oh,
yep.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Yep.
Then have a quick little brief conversation. Yeah, on the way to work, I'm going to grab this coffee and donut, whatever.
All right, we got to skip number 2.
Waiting for you to say some keywords, and when you say them, that goes back into the database. And cha-ching.
Yeah. All right, look, this video is disgusting. All right, I'm going to post a link to a video right here. We don't have time to watch the video. We don't even really have time to talk about the video. But we did definitely want to say, but the guy did have his hands in his pants. And when the cop was telling him to put his hands up, he had his hand in his pants for probably like 3 seconds longer than he probably should have, which 3 seconds is a long time when you're watching this video. But basically, shoot first, ask questions later. Once again, and that continues to be the MO for most police, and that's probably the way most police have been trained in this country. I guess we know that most police have been trained in this country. So when is that training going to be reversed, and they're going to be a mass movement to reverse the shoot first, ask questions later training?
We're talking about Salt Lake City, Utah, August 11th,
Yeah. I'm talking about the link that we posted underneath.
Video,
if what do you call it?
You click the link below, there's graphic video, officer shot an unarmed man.
If you can't find it, just look up graphic body cam footage on Google, and it'll come right up. It's a very recent thing, and it's body cam footage of the cop killing the dude. So, have we been on the right track all along, Brian?
I don't know. I'm real quick skimming through the article that you attached with this video, and it says that the person in question, Dylan Taylor, was listening to music at the time. So he might not have even heard the cops telling him,
Yeah, no. That's what they're saying is that. But when he turned around, what I'm saying is if you watch a video, when he turned around, he can see the cop. That's what I'm saying. Is he can see the cop, and he's looking at the cop, and he's got his hands down in his pants like he's grabbing his dick or some shit. But he's definitely got his hands down in his pants and like down in his underwear and shit, like fucking looking like a little bit suspicious for 3 seconds longer than he needs to. 3 seconds, like when you see a cop with a gun pointed at you, and you're like, you turn around and you're in shock. Yeah, maybe a second. I understand a second. But eventually you whip your hands out real quick and like put them up in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you make it clear I have nothing in my hands. You know what I'm saying? You put your hands out that you have nothing in them, right? He had his hands in his shit and was like rumbling around his hands in his, like, maybe looking like he was playing with his dick or something because he didn't have a gun, but looking like he was playing with his dick or something, and then finally started to pull his hands out, but pulled them out slowly. And I can understand why he might want to pull them out slowly because he doesn't want to scare anybody, make anybody think he's pulling out a gun real quick or anything like that. But the dude ended up getting shot. But we got to move on from that topic, Brian. What I was saying is, have we been right all along about the whole Jade Helm thing and shit about to hit the fan, and that's why Jade Helm is down there to either protect people or to start imprisoning citizens because ISIS and cartels have joined together and are going to infiltrate societies and get into citizen and turn themselves into citizenry. Well, maybe it might be true though. That could be true.
Recent vets that recently got out posting YouTube videos saying, hey, based on our training, Jade Helm is gonna come, take your guns, and this is the beginning of the end game.
Yeah, well, Jade Helm might come take your guns, but think about that. But think about that. How many people will give over their guns? Hold on. How many people will give over their guns when? Think about it this way: if the military is there, okay? The military is there. Jade Helm is there. Nobody's happy about the military being there. Everybody's pretty upset because of Jade Helm. You know, everybody's worked up about it. But all of a sudden, ISIS attacks a few more times. Cartels or ISIS attack a few more times, and one more helicopter goes down. 4 border patrol agents have been killed. 2 were beheaded. So that makes 6 total. What do you call it? A town, there was a bomb that went off in a town, and ISIS claimed responsibility for it. In a Texas town, a bomb went off, right? And not just a shooting, a bomb went off, and 30 people were killed in that bomb. How do you really, like, you trust me, there'll be a lot of people that aren't going to give up their guns, especially in Texas and that area. But a lot of people will give up their guns with the military around to say they're going to handle it.
You have agents provoking shit. Like, what was it, the Draw Muhammad cartoon contest at the mosque? Were you not expecting something to happen?
But Brian, you're one of the people that I've always seen been a staunch defender of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and your freedom of speech, and that includes freedom of speech. And remember what I told you? What did I say?
I'm not saying it's
what?
There's no law or anything against it, but they're tactfully, like, just it's socially.
Yeah, it's socially wrong.
That's just not the place. Why would you do that there? At that time, because you know something is going to happen. Yeah. Well, but what if we turned it on our heels? Would I not be the enemy, like what I said before? Would I not be the enemy? Not be part of Jade Helm.
Well, this whole thing is part of Jade Helm.
This is funded by the West.
Well, Jade Helm is all part of this. Jade Helm is just a kind of a distraction and a way to just move the military in to get ready for, I think, honestly, a civil / a civil war with real insurgents, fake insurgents, like basically just a shitstorm. A civil war with real insurgents, fake insurgents, civilians with fucking weaponry, militias, I'm guarantee there's a lot of militias in Texas and in that area, and U.S. military. All shitstorming, fighting each other, all 5 of them.
It really pisses me off now that I didn't add this to the feed of links for the week, but there was something about, I think it was Massachusetts, it was a town in Massachusetts. They outlawed a type of rifle that was previously legal in the state.
Okay.
And when they went to round those guns up, 70 citizens were shot refusing to give up that.
And where was this again?
Somewhere in Massachusetts.
Where did you read that from?
I don't remember, that's why I'm pissed that I didn't see it.
Massachusetts.
I saw it within the past week.
70?
Yeah, it was 70 dead for refusal to turn in firearms or something like that.
70 dead. 72 killed. Resisting gun confiscation. Yeah, see, I don't believe that, dude.
2 patriots killed, Massachusetts state gun confiscation.
From last year, I would think that had been talking about. Section 70, no. 72 killed, resisting. Yeah, it's like a fake story. I know we don't like Snopes, and we do talk shit about Snopes sometimes. Snopes says it's false. Won't come form.
You're looking at the wrong thing. Read, see?
An ambush near Boston recently killed 72 National Guard troops.
That's not the same.
Yeah, okay. That's it. That was it. 72 killed resisting gun confiscation in Boston. National Guard units seeking to confiscate a cache of recently banned assault weapons were ambushed by elements of paramilitary extremist faction. Military and law enforcement sources estimate that 72 were killed and more than 200 injured before government forces were compelled to withdraw.
After the clash, Massachusetts Governor Thomas Gage declared that the extremist faction, which was made up of local citizens, has links to the radical right-wing tax protest movement.
Dude.
Ding, 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 false flag alert.
Dude, this is from last year.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on. Step out of your brain for a second. Step out of your brain. If this came out in March of last year, do you not think this would be the first time that we've heard of 70 National Guard units killed by United States citizens? Do you think that would be completely covered up and there would be only 2 articles about it if that happened last year? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, like, and Snopes is saying it's false. I'm not saying Snopes is the end all be all. Well, Snopes does research.
No, their research is Google. Their research is our research.
Okay, exactly. And so that's saying that we're completely wrong no matter what, because if we research something, we're completely wrong no matter what. Look, in fact, the Soundstar Edelman told us this piece originated as an article he collaborated on that was first published in the February 1995 edition of the New American Magazine under the title "Scores Killed, Hundreds Injured as Paramilitary Extremists Riot." Okay, the incident referenced in this article is, of course, not something that recently took place in the Boston area, but rather a recasting of a centuries-old event that is widely regarded as marking the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. They're fucking retelling it's a fake article retelling of the Revolutionary War. Oh my. Brian, come on. Come on, Brian, come on. But that's what I'm saying. If that really happened, you'd see probably at least 10 or 15 websites. It might be covered up a little bit, but you see 10 or 15 websites of people talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't bring myself to believe that happened whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hate some of these websites. It's like they'll just put some shit up like this where, and I bet you they're both from the same Amy Elizabeth chick. She probably just posts for both of those websites.
I do like that Molan Labe picture.
Oh, she kills me. She kills me. 8 civilians were killed in the ensuing exchange. Ironically, the local citizenry blamed government forces rather than extremists for the civilian deaths. Before order could be restored, armed citizens from surrounding areas had descended upon the guard units. Colonel Smith, finding his forces overmatched by the armed mob, ordered a retreat.
What is this, the 18th?
Exactly. Oh my God, Colonel Lecter. Governor Gage has called upon citizens to support the state national joint task force in its efforts to restore law and order. The governor also demanded the surrender of those responsible for planning. And see, that's the type of shit that Alex Jones would read and be like, "It's going down," and then never talk about it again because he would realize that it was like a little bit of a hoax. See, he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out and say that it's a hoax. But you know what? This fucking Jade Helm shit could be fucking real. And the icing on the cake here, Brian, or maybe the candles being placed in the cake, the candles have to be lit. And when the candles get lit, you got fire going, and you got fucking chance for bad shit to happen. You know, that fire can catch a curtain, and the whole fucking place is going down. But, right? And a curtain could be fucking right down there in Texas. Where would the fucking curtain lie? If the country were a fucking room or a window, right? And there was curtains for it. Where would the curtains lie? Right down by Texas and the Mexico border. And that's where those fucking curtains would lie. Anyway, right? You got a cake, got your candles. We're putting the candles in this fucking cake as far as the shit storm getting ready to go down. Because a depopulation data site, or a military data site, really, a military information data site for military professionals and military people, even though it was open to the public for a long time, has now gone dark for all but a chosen few. And if you go to that site, it says, your IP address has been chosen and is on a list of IP addresses that is not allowed to access this site at this time. And it's like, I've never been to a site and had it say that to me before, so that's some pretty crazy stuff. But apparently this site has made some really crazy predictions and stuff.
Yeah,
And I tried to load it on this silverdoctors.com. It says military site deagle.com predicts economic collapse and massive 78 U.S. depopulation. And it wouldn't load. And now finally it loads for us as we get the shit going on.
Nice.
So this is from May 25th. Military site deagle.com. This is the site that has been blocked that Brian just told us about. We're just about out of time, but we'll let it go till the buzzer goes off. Military site deagle.com predicts economic collapse and massive 78% U.S. depopulation. What could be getting ready to happen in the United States? Like, really, I can't, like, yeah, I feel like I'm thinking of the plot to a crazy action movie or next summer's blockbuster. Or this summer's blockbuster that is yet to be even, the trailer has yet to even be released. It's going to be dropped on us like a fucking, like a shitstorm, dude. This is going to be insane.
Update, Bilderberg 2015, elite prep for worldwide bank runs, nuclear and economic devastation. Then you have Deagle.com, blocking the IPs of all but a few chosen people with access. You have the military running Jade Helm.
Yeah, something could be done, dude.
The country, actually all over the world right now. Jade Helm type operations are being run.
But there's a lot of people commenting on this article and saying it's really like the shittiest article that they've ever read. But, okay, it may be the shittiest article you've ever read, people, but go look up Deagle.com. And Deagle, you can't access that site anymore. Deagle might have accidentally released some information that was not supposed to be released to the public.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, Deagle's being punished right now. Deagle's not like, oh, hold on, shut the whole website down. We got to make sure we get that off there. No, Deagle's being punished right now. Like, Deagle, you're done. Sorry, but you're not allowed to leak that information. Like, you're a military information website. We trust you. And that, folks, means that they trust us. Alright, where's the switch? Where's the switch back there? There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Military's probably like, we give you information, we trust you, you're not supposed to leak any information that could be possibly harmful. Or they have like
Or that could cause...
Well, they might have an internal login. They might have an internal login for military professionals, and certain information is shared with those people with their internal logins, and you need to have certain credentials for that. And this was only supposed to be shared with internal login people, and it was shared on the open site for any public people that went to it on the public site, and they're in trouble now. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, Brian. It's kind of ominous. If this ends up like another 2012, I'm going to be so pissed, Brian. I'm going to be so pissed. So on that note, everybody have a great week. I think this has been a great show. We kept it nice and short. It was a little bit hectic, I guess, but it was still fun. It was a blast.
A
little rushed, but it was still a blast. So I guess check us out, facebook.com/BrainStorming Podcast. You can also check us out at what? YouTube.com/where-we-lied-to. Where-we-lied-to.com is, yes, it's not up. It's still under construction. Give it another week or two. That will be coming.
You can go there.
That'll be coming very soon. You'll be able to log on to there and see our podcast.
iTunes.
Hey, iTunes. We should be on iTunes within the next few days or next week or something. So, hey, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. If you want to find us, if you want to email us, don't forget you can email us at 3nn@outlook.com. Or if you want to personally reach Brian and you want to send him love notes or something like that, you can get him at brian3nn@hotmail.com.
Yep.
That's it. All right. So everybody out there, have a great week, and we will see you next week, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you very much. And
have a great week. And
yeah.
Try to win that battle for your brain.
Yeah, there's a battle on for your brain.
I'm not saying it because that's your line.
So let your brain evolve.
There you go. Caught me off guard there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. Hello, darling. All right. All right, what's going on?
I got all things that are good.